Hello, everyone. Oh, I shouldn't talk that loud. I'm gonna do some work on some character designs today. That's what Art Fight means, kind of. You're just making like original characters for challenges. Is the rough explanation because I'm new to it, so I'll have a better explanation when I get further into it. But yeah, so I would just try it out this year, see if I can meet some new people through it. I don't know. Oy. Start off by just doing some random gesture drawings, and then I'll do work on the characters after. Hello. Doing all right? How was your day? Hope it was good. But I would just get ready for Art Fight, I guess. I haven't done it before, but I thought it'd be fun to try it out. Let's see, trying to find some poses. Neat. That's cool. Let's do this pose. Otherwise, it was a pretty normal just work day today. Kind of meh. It was okay. Just kind of typical Wednesday. Oh yeah, I heard it was okay. Like I mean, don't expect like outstanding, but I hear that like it's out of all the live actions, I hear it's actually kind of fun. So, and I've seen like some of the. My main concern when I heard it was going to get a live action was like how do the dragons look and how does the costumes and yeah. Yeah, no, they were really good. So I just want to be sure that the costume, like, it wasn't just like trying to be like, oh, since it's live action, we're gonna try and make them actual Vikings, and I'm like, that would have made it bad. So I'm glad they didn't do that. They kind of just like were stuck with like they are Vikings, but they're like cartoon Vikings, kind of. They're not real, historical. Because who would want that? I mean, there's dragons. You don't need them to be historical. I want them to live on giant islands that look fantasy themselves, like in the movies, I mean, like in the cartoon. Because if they, it looks like they got a good actor for the Hiccup too. Like the young actor they got is pretty good, and some people were a little annoyed. I don't even remember why, but like I guess the Astrid's character is from a different town, a different village, and I'm okay with that. She's still it's like she still looks like she looked in the movie, so I'm like, who cares? I mean, they're not going to make her look 100% like she looked in the movie because she's a cartoon character in the movie. So that's like being that's like if they ever tried to make a like I mean, if someone cosplays as Jessica Rabbit and someone would be like, "Oh, you don't look like her because you have anatomy." And it's like, "Yeah, because she's that's a cartoon character." So yeah, I heard they did pretty good. Honestly, even that I mean, I know Moana, not Moana. I mean, well, that's it. That is getting a live action as well. I'm a little more annoyed, worried about that one actually. Is that what they did? Oh, okay. I don't know. I All I know is that from what I saw, well, plus they got um the father. I mean, they just got the actor. He's just back. Like it's like, oh yeah, I'll come back for this movie. He liked being the father, so he's like, he probably took a price cut. Like they probably didn't pay him as much, and he's like, yeah, I'll do this because he liked the story. I've heard that happen before, like with certain celebrities, like Morgan Freeman's done that before, and I think Keanu Reeves has done that, and a few others. If they like the story, they're like, I don't care if you pay me my normal price. Oh well, Scarlett Johansson, she when she did that artsy film, she did like she did it for like I think 30 mil versus the like 130 that she expected from Marvel. So yeah, they'll if they like a director, they'll be very flexible. Wes Anderson, that's who it was. She likes it. She likes Wes Anderson because he gives good direction, I guess. And that based on his movies, I do like his Wes Anderson movies. They're usually pretty fun. Very strange, but fun. Like Moonrise Kingdom was a odd but really fun movie. Like, and Budapest Hotel was fun too. Yeah. Well, the good thing I also saw from the trailer was Toothless looks like Toothless. Like they actually like it looks like all they did was just take the model from the original story and just put a texture map on top of it to make it look like it actually exists in the real world, like to a degree. Like it still look you can tell it's CG, but obviously, but it because I don't think they did practical effects. But other than that, it looks good from what I saw. So like I was basically just like, does it look like cat? And if it doesn't look like cat, I don't want to watch it. And I'm angry that it exists. But then I saw what it looked like, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's the same creature. It still has that Chris Sanderson like effect to it, which I like. Because I would have been mad if they tried to make it look more like something that existed in the real world based on what they think a dragon should look like. Yeah, so true. It all depends on who's managing the project too, because like sometimes they'll have a lot of money, but they just don't handle it right. Or the like, well, like The Witcher, they handle it and they basically just like put the focus on the character that the book's not based around, so they lose most of their audience. Like people like me who just want to see Geralt and Ciri. I don't care about Yennefer. I want to see Ciri be awesome. Ciri can be awesome because she is, and Geralt can be grumpy except when he's around Ciri. That's how the book. That's how. Well, I believe that's how the books worked. That's definitely how the games worked. Like he was a grump for most of the game, but when she would show up, he would just suddenly smile. And I'm like, wait, you can smile? Where's this feature bed? I thought this was behind a paywall. At least I never really have to worry about Disney turning any of the Ghibli films into a live action, because that would be awful. Like I can't imagine even the ones that might work. I still wouldn't want to see live action. Oh no, I hate that. Oh, that's the worst. And that's what happened with that unspeakably bad Dragon Ball movie, which was confusingly titled because it wasn't Dragon Ball, it was Dragon Ball Z, but it was a really bad Dragon Ball Z movie. Oops, this is too far. This is too close. Yeah, we can just delete it. I'm just. Oh no. Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Thanks for even dropping in. If you can't later, that's fine too. But if I was, I appreciate you dropping by. Either way. Let's see. Yeah, I think the thing that always used to bug me about, and still kind of does, is that like there are stories still out there, both like fables that aren't really covered from places, and there's also, I mean, young adult books out there that would be pretty cool movies, like animated or live action. Like the Shades of Magic would be cool either way. I mean, I'm impartial because I like animation, but live action that would look cool too. You could easily do it. Like a lot of it's like just specific like effects. Trying to find good poses to plan for my characters. Do, 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 do. Sorry, one sec. Do, do, do. That's one guy I might try and do for my team. Is my I haven't drawn him too much, but he's my I'll show you. This guy. If it opens. He's essentially the Earthbender kind of character I made a while ago. Who might show up in my comic, but I'm still... Yep, see him. Like, I was thinking about making him one of my characters. He's got the abilities of, like, manipulating Earth and combining it with himself to change its density, too. So he's kind of like Kevin Levin combined with that if he was an Earthbender. See, yeah. There's a couple. Wolverine. That's a cool pose. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Just for fun, give him a Wolverine pose. Yeah, another VTuber I follow was doing like a whole ranking of all these Disney movies, and it was funny just seeing talking about all the going back down the nostalgia trail of all the old ones, and just like remember. It's funny that some of them I've never actually seen, like the Three Musketeers movie. I never saw that, but I heard it's good. I keep seeing clips of it, and then being like, the characters look really fun, but I just always kind of like, and I'm always like, oh, maybe I'll watch it sometime, but then I forget. Same with Cinderella 3. Like everyone's like, oh, that one's really fun, and like it was good seeing Prince Charming actually have like a personality and like get to like do something in the movie, and like also like Cinderella actually like has like gets to do some action like later Disney characters, which I mean, the original story she's is a like iteration of an iteration, so she kind of just has. I mean, she's spent her whole life is doing things, so I guess it's not fair to be like she doesn't do anything. It's like, well, she finally got a break. Is really what the story is. Like she did everything all the time, and finally someone the fairy godmother gave her a break. But I guess the third one's all about like the stepmother finds out what happened and like turns the godmother to stone and takes her wand and changes everything. So it's kind of like another version of that whole. Never After did it as well, where they tried to do it, but I think this succeeded a little better than that. Even though I liked Never After a little bit, it was kind of fun to see like a version of Charming where he is just played by like, I forget the name of that voice actor, but he's the guy who does Krunk, and he was just kind of a meathead kind of character. And I was so relieved that I know it's all superficial, but like they put one of my favorites at the top of their list too, which is Atlantis: The Lost Kingdom. Like I just love that movie so much. I think it just came out at a really bad time. Like if it had came out before Tarzan, it probably would have done better. But by then, like Tarzan succeeded because, well, you have a famous guy doing the singing the soundtrack, and he did good, and the story was really good. I mean, I'm never gonna badmouth that movie. I love it. So even though some people don't like the soundtrack, I thought it was really nice, and I love the mother character, the surrogate mother character. She was incredibly the voice actress did so good that I just like broke it breaks your heart when she has at the end when she thinks she has to say goodbye to him. So yeah, it so and the villain was fun to hate. Like Clayton was just like your typical like kind of just like person who's looking for to make a buck. Trying to think of ways to change him a little bit because he kind of looks, even with the beard, he looks. I don't know, maybe he's okay. Because the point of him is he kind of looks like a villain, but he's and that combined with his like very eccentric personality, people think he is at first, but he just isn't around people much, so he's just like very like energetic and kind of makes people nervous sometimes. How outgoing he is because he's not used to talking to people. Like him and Cole are two different sides of the same coin. Where like Cole, people think is evil and is like possibly dangerous because he doesn't talk to people and they just see him as this dark presence in a room. When in fact he kind of has agoraphobia. Like he's the one in the room hiding from everyone. Like he's very nervous about talking to new people. Which is funny for someone who's a supposed to be a consultant for a high up politician character. She hired him, and she's just like, "Yeah, you just gonna hide in the background. I don't need you to make decisions while they're there. Just tell me what you think when they leave, that kind of thing." And he's like, "Okay." like, like exchange. I'll let you use my library, and he's like, "Okay, good. That's all I want. Just wanted the books." He's really into studying ancient creatures from our world to revive them, to use as to study them. But this guy Clay has gotten his friend Cole to come out of his shell and kind of like go out into nature a few times. Because he always bribes him by being like, "We'll find more together. If you come with me, you can help me find more artifacts. Because you can, I won't have to carry them all back myself." And I know he looks similar to my avatar, but the reason is because they're both based around my appearance to a degree, or kinda loosely. Anyway, one second. I'm gonna see if I can. Okie dokie. Because the original story was much more loose with these two characters, and they were going to be like, he was going to be a guard that was working at the castle of the or he was going to be like this guard for the city, and like the one day that he took off, like this major invasion happens of these Unseelie, and they nearly got to the Capitol building and took out everyone. So like everyone thinks that it's too much of a coincidence that both Clay and Cole weren't working that day in their business in either of their for either of their people, so they forced them to do community service. It's like the stories about like them they had to like fix the town while continuing with their other duties as well. But it was more slice of life, and it just didn't work out. I might go back to it eventually, but yeah, it might be something I look to in the future. But for now, it's just these characters can just show up in other stories. I've seen other authors do that too, where they might have a character they like in the future, but they don't. They're just minor characters in their stories until they get their own. I mean, let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's been several instances of that. I mean, yeah, even Marvel's done that, DC's done that. Robin started off as a sidekick and went off on his own adventures later on. So. Since I figured this is a good day to just try and like start this off and just have it be a quiet work day, because I had a headache earlier, so I just want to make sure that I can just stop if I have to. Yeah, this guy was very much like inspired by like Bolin, kind of from Korra. But like, what if like he looked like a villain? I'm gonna make his hair even longer. If this is, I guess I could do a different version where his hair is longer, just to show that like when he's in the wild, he obviously gets a little bit more like. Kind of like Sun Jinwoo's father, kind of like crazy long hair. He gets that when he's just exploring caves. Like he part of his character story was that like that I added in was that he was I kept changing it, but I eventually fell on he fused with a Spriggan when he was exploring the Feywild. Like he kind of started to turn into one. So and that basically gave me a way of like making him almost a cartoon character because Spriggan have like incredible endurance and like can come back to life. So like I made it so like it explained why he could like just like fight these unseelie like battle elves that are should be like un are should be like gods to a regular human. But for him, he's like, yeah, you're tough, but I fought trolls before, so you're not as bad as them. Maybe I'll make it that long. Keep showing them, maybe. I almost made him Grace's brother, but or one of them because he was originally going to be Cole's brother, but then I kind of I changed their story a little so they were more just old friends that were like practically brothers because they knew each other their entire lives. Figured it'd be nice to have more of those kind of stories. He can form armor out of rock and other earth materials, and he can also, I mean, he can just manipulate it to change its consistency so that if he gets in a cave in, he can instantly just like push himself out of it like he's in water, like swim up through it. So he's the perfect explorer. they're fun characters too. I like explorer characters. Even before like shows like Free Run and Kino's Journey and all that stuff, like it's just fun having characters where you can just like sit back and just like watch their adventure and not have to worry about like power levels or any of that nonsense. I mean, that's the best part. Even with ones certain shonen, you can always tell the better ones because they're the ones where like that's not the most important part. But maybe they get stronger eventually as the story allows them to, through like them studying and becoming smarter. I also gave him like a shovel as a weapon, which actually, I watched this one YouTuber who said that it isn't entirely as silly as I originally made it. Because a spade could be used as a throwing weapon. It's not the best weapon, but I figure he could use it as like it's like his staff. He can focus all of his energy into the ground with the spade part and change the earth even faster. So, hello, thanks for dropping by. I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad that I took my time and went back and and did the Richard and the Steel Song family story instead, because like fleshing out the worlds on a smaller scale through them will make it so much easier to explain when I get to these point. If I ever go back, when I go back to these guys, it'll be just easier. Basically, he could make like a giant gauntlet out of the rock and use it as a weapon if he wanted to, or he could change the earth so that he could just like move across the earth, the landscape faster by just like gliding on the land. And he had this like clay armor that he could increase. He could basically just reshape his armor anytime he wants to, or just get rid of it if he wants to. If he is just like going into a cave. So, or climbing a mountain. That way he can just be light and fast. Sorry. Maybe I'll get some to drink. Be right back. There it is. some water's good. Oh, there it is. The top of my circle. A new flavor because mine's gone. At least they're not too expensive, so. Circle, if you want to sponsor, if I can sponsor you, I would. I do like your products. And unlike some of those other things, they're actually like a bit healthier because you can control with the feed on the circle thermos how much of the juice you drink with the water. Like if you want, you don't even have to drink the juice. Just put it to 0 and it doesn't take in anything. Let's see what he looks like again. Yeah, he's got green and he's got green and give him a little bit of the of this on top. Maybe like it. That's fine. Maybe this time it's more like a dragon. He's fashioned it more into like dragon scale armor underneath his shirt. Like it would be so, if I can find a way to fit him in my current story, it'd be so much fun, because like him and Richard would just be such a fun tag team. With like her making him faster would, because he is a bulky like slow moving character, so like her enhancing him with her music would make him just a really fun, like a beast. Or him teaming up. What I'll probably end up doing, in minor spoiler, I guess, is he probably is more likely going to team up with the mother character Grace, because he's probably going to be more likely in that area. Story wise, it would make more sense for him to be. Oh, sorry. I had a nap earlier and I guess it just reset itself. Anyway, it's more likely he's in the middle of the woods than like, or like she comes by like an area that he's hiking. Or like, even more likely, he hears that she's in an area from her brother, Cole, who tells him like, look out for my sister. She might be in danger. She's very capable, but she's trying to outrun a disaster that no human should have to face alone. So yeah, he'll probably come and help her escape. But that was the big part of her character story, was I wanted to make her really smart and also like a really talented. She's not really a fighter, but she is really smart with. She's like an alchemist, but not like Full Metal Alchemist. She's more like a alchemist in like she knows how to make potions and everything, because she used that to like help cure animals from illnesses and help people in the field. Which I haven't really thought about how her and Richard met, but maybe I'll make it so she was like either she was they were on a like escort mission for her, or yeah, it's probably gonna be something like that. But then she turned out to be like a really reliable field like medic for them, so she stuck with their platoon for a while. And then they built a relationship during that time. But yeah, with Clay, he's actually, even though he was unlucky with getting the Spriggan like mixed with that, he's still even part of him being so positive is kind of like a based is essentially the same reason that he got it. He also feels positive because it could have been so much worse. Like he's seen people who have had far worse things happen to them from being trapped in the Feywilds, and he really realizes how like blessed he was, and like the fact that like nothing's really truly dangerous happened to him. He's just like, well, if this is my fate, then that's what it is, and I'm just gonna make the best of it. And he's just like a super positive character that tries to help out his friend who's was also affected by the war, but in different ways, and he just tries to be a good friend. Distract him from all the rough memories of being involved in such a nasty war with the Unseelie, who are just monstrous creatures. Like for people who are watching this who don't know about like D&D and all that, Unseelie is essentially the name for like any kind of like fairy folk that were on the side of more like what you would think of as like demons and like goblins, the violent kind, because goblins come in all kinds of variety, and some are actually not violent at all. They're like some goblins can be like house spirits, so or forest spirits, and they're not violent at all. So, but the ones that like people know from like or trolls, the ones that they know from like Billy Goes Gruff and all that those are more likely Unseelie. The kind of like abduct people and all that. That's more an Unseelie behavior. Because usually with stories like Patrick Rothfuss in his story, I'd say that the I forget what her name was, but there's this fairy in that like he pursues because she's got like this like curse on her where every man wants to be with her, and he does pursue her and with his skill manages to catch up to her and spend some time with her. But she didn't force him. The magic on her kind of attracted him, as it would any man. So. And sometimes in those stories, like with the Seelie, like the only bad thing they might do is not even their fault. It's more just like the fairy realm is weird and it follows different rules for time. So sometimes someone will be trapped there, and then like they'll come back to our world, and time will suddenly catch up with them. and they'll just turn the dust, or the other side of it is like, I mean, everyone they know is gone. So it's like either you're cursed with like everyone you know isn't around anymore, or you just instantly just vanish because your body catches up with time. It's kind of like, because that's just wild magic. It's very unpredictable. Remember in the Mighty Nine, that was a really funny part of their campaign, was where they were in this like northern area where they had to deal with wild magic. So like every time they used magic, it pretty much just explode in their face, which was kind of funny. I've been watching this new show. This, well, not new show, but it's new to me. It's called Librarians. Kind of cool seeing a different show that talks about magic and like the high costs of it, how unpredictable it is. I figure he's doing like that Terra thing where he's just floating on a pillar, on a like a slab of rock. How are we doing on time? Not bad. Might work on the comic pretty soon, or maybe try and do another character. We'll see. Because he's coming along pretty good, actually. This is a better version of what I've done with him. So, just like I said, I just gotta color him. I'm gonna, I'll do the flats on him, and then I'll move on to a different character. Maybe I'll make it more like his hairstyle. Not completely all. Maybe he's got more like very dark brown, and then it turns into this. To show that he's slowly turning into this other thing. I kind of like that, where it's kind of like it's yeah, that was kind of cool. So now just adding all the gold. Hello, thanks for dropping by. Working on some art fight. So first year I'm doing it, so it's gonna be interesting. Honestly, I just want to have some fun. I don't care if I'll make some characters, try and socialize with a few people, hopefully gain some other artists to draw with. Really, that's all I want. I don't care if I don't need to gain a massive following. Getting other artists to draw with would be the best part if I can do that. So. Air conditioning, why are you making noises? I don't like when you make noises. Means you might turn off. That's bad. No, I think something must have fallen in front of it. It sounded like something fell behind me. So, yep, that's all. Yep. Trick with golds is that they're just remember that they're not just obviously orange or yellow. There are also browns in them and a bunch of other colors. So they're a whole bunch of colors to them. Maybe I'll even like give him in this version. No, maybe not. We'll try it. I was thinking like maybe giving him like a clay kind of color too. But even if that's kind of on the nose with his name, but yeah, I draw. I mean, I draw at work, traditional. And I have an on my Instagram. If you go back far enough, I used to. There's a lot of that. I started off with traditional. I might go back to that. Maybe I'm not sure. It's a big time investment, but I might just do it for my own like for fun. Like I did Witchtober and Kaijun back in the day. I didn't do it. I almost did one of them this year, but I kind of just like we were. I was like just right in the middle of something. I think I was trying to get back into working on the comics, so I kind of just didn't have time. Graffiti markers. I'm not sure what those how those draw because I've been tempted to buy some acrylic markers, but graffiti markers. I'm not sure what those are like. I wish I could help you there. That's. I'd be curious to see what those are like. Because mean, if you had like a, if I had like a, I would have to go to like either my sisters or my parents and like do it in their garage or something because I don't want to do it in my apartment. That's for sure. Oh, they're alcohol based. So they're kind of like Copic. Yeah, I have I got some Ohulu. I bought an entire set of Ohulu markers when they were on sale at some online store. I think it was either um Dick Blix or no, what's it called? Or what was the other one? There's a few different online art stores that are really good. Jerry's Artorama. That's where I usually got them. I like their site. Either them or like any of the bigger ones are fine because they have really good sales. The bigger suppliers. Because Copics were nice, but they're just like I just never had a reason to get them. Like I was always a little intimidated by them, so I never really got into them. Paper, like typical black book. I'm not sure, but hmm, would that work with an alcohol-based marker? That sounds like that might not. I'm not sure how that would hold up to alcohol because usually that's for just ink. Like there's certain papers that are only good for ink, so you would just have to make sure that it could hold up. Because like, and that's why I like places like Jerry's Artorama, or I mean, I would even just go to like find a local art store. Is the best advice I could give. Because I made friends with the owners of a art store a while ago when I used to just go there and talk to them and have them explain all that stuff to me. Because there's like, yeah, there's different types. I know what you mean by there is different types of paper that will do different, have different consistency and give. So yeah, you want to make sure you're getting something that will be able to hold up to that. Because I what I usually like is multimedia paper because then it holds up to a bunch of different mediums. So I can do I could use my markers. I could use my watercolor, my gouache. I could use um, like really watered down inks or water soluble. My favorite thing back in the day to use was water soluble markers because like it was just I really liked how the effect you got with them was really fun. So that was my favorite. I wouldn't recommend making it doing like a comic with that, but although I've seen there is one artist I really like her work, and she does watercolor for her comic, which is not something I would choose, but hey, I mean, it looks good, so yeah, she does a story about little folk, like kind of like that Ghibli film Secret of Ariete, kind of like she has her own story about those kind of like little fairy folk. So, but yeah, it's cool that she can do. She has the patience to like use watercolor like that. I when I do gouache, I kind of just like go nuts with it. At least I used to. That's kind of why I didn't feel too bad about switching to like digital, is because I realized I wasn't a master at gouache anyway. So it was kind of like it was just I wanted to go back into digital, so especially for my comic, because I was doing it my comic traditional for a while, but it was just going so. I mean, it's already not going very fast, but it was going so slow traditional. And part of that was more on the story wasn't very well realized either. I found out when I talked to an art mentor later on. He pointed out like that I should do a smaller story first. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, this is the other guy from that story, the original one. Let's see if I can get him. This is a rough version of him. I'm gonna try and make him one of my. I think I can use him. I'm not really clear on the rules of art fight, so maybe I can use him. I mean, he's holding a crystal staff. Technically, he might fit more in fossil than in crystal, but I don't know. I can make rules either way, I guess. And I can bend him either way, so. One traditional thing I might get back into, because my brother got me kind of curious about it again, is doing Warhammer figures. I might actually look into that because it sounds fun, and it would be a nice thing outside of drawing that just de-stress. Because any regular drawing is always going to be a little stressful. But should I? Hmm. Nah, I won't do the red. Well, maybe the dirt can be red-ish, just so it's not like your typical just brown. That's boring. Like put like different patches of it together. With a bunch of different rocks mixed together. Like some of it's gray, some of it's red, and they show that you can just build out of like all these different. You can make weapons out of all these different materials. But I would just go to maybe even just a craft store and see, because they might have what you're talking about. Especially if it is writing paper, you might be able to like go there at a specific time of the season and buy. I would just buy it. Wait, like for now, just get like one at a time, and then like but like research and find a time when it's like on sale and buy a bunch of them. That's usually what I do. Because certain stores will have like times of the year where like they just want to get rid of their inventory. So yeah, I would just do that. Try different few different colors for him because it's been so long since I've drawn him that I kind of want to play around and see what I like. I don't know if I like that. Those don't really go together, do they? Hmm. Different types of gems all embedded in his armor. The big part of him that I originally wrote in was that he the the fairy magic he gained abilities with was unstable, so he kind of like he found a loophole in using lodestones to hold a lot of the energy, so he didn't he could like control how much of it he used, so it wasn't as like unstable when he did it that way. Even the stone starting to mix in with his skin color. The kind of like he's got these patches of like rock pigment in his skin. Yeah. And he was mostly like a gray, actually. Maybe that's where I'll make actually the this instead. Actually, is kind of give him like a rock mixed with clay kind of look for his parts of his body. Some will be like a mix of the two. So he doesn't just look like a living golem, like a human golem, kind of. Not what he is. Mm-hmm. Maybe this should be black instead of like he's got some obsidian armor on down here, covering his legs. this. I might even maybe I'll try and do some shorts with this character, like mini adventure things about him just going down to the caves or something, and talk like him, and like maybe I'll do other shorts with Grace where she's just talking about nature, so like she's like doing a documentary style, kind of like a report on the area she's in and like all the animals. Originally I was going to do that, but I kind of fell off when I started to do more challenges. So maybe I'll go back into that. Just to get back into the groove of like, or just to refine my writing. Because I'm having a lot, I mean, writing's the hardest part of working on a comic. So. I'm just gonna draw quietly. I'm sorry. I don't feel quite myself today, so I'm just gonna be just focusing on this from this point on, and then I probably will only draw for a little bit longer, like maybe another half hour max. If that, we'll see how my head feels. I feel like I'm gambling as it is right now. Maybe in like 10 minutes I'll call it. Another trick for making things look brighter is to make everything around them darker. It's, I know it's probably pretty basic, but it's something I found out. Ironically, from Last Airbender, I was listening to the commentary and they had a scene where they were in an underground cave with crystals, and they said they made the crystals look brighter by making everything around them really dark. So. think this is a good place to call it. I'm making pretty good progress. I'm just gonna take a little break. So, step away from this for a sec. So, thanks for dropping by. I'll be back on Friday working on this a little bit more. I'll probably um, do a few more of the characters on Friday. And sorry I couldn't do it. It was a shot in the dark to do a comic. I kind of felt like I didn't feel good to begin with today, so I figured it was probably unlikely. But thanks for sticking around. It's nice having someone and knowing someone's watching. So enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope it's great. And I'll see you on Friday. Take care.